Now there's a million flies. When you look in this, it can be a little bit disheartening to know where to start. But if I needed 6 flies to save my life, these would be my 6. In New Zealand, I'd have my blowfly. You've seen that works very successfully, or an Adams parachute. Great flies in New Zealand, and also pretty good over here as well. You saw the one further out? Great.
Here he comes. Yes. Now that has taken an awful long time. We've just persisted so often with different flies and changing, and we've gone to it's a blowfly. I'll show you a bit later. It's fluorescent blue, and it was just a matter. Well, we're hoping it's a matter of time, and sure enough, plonk it in front. And he's straight onto it. You know, he sees a good little bit of food there, and he's come up to get it. I mean, he's not going to be like the biggest ones we've seen today. We've seen some monsters in here that are probably 6-7 pounds. You know, could be even a lot bigger. This one's still going to be a great fish. He'll be a good 3 or 4 pound. But they're all great. They're all great fish. It's just finally to get one to grab, it's just a relief. So you try and get him on a nice short line. And you don't want to be chasing him around with the net. You want the fish to come to you and his head to be up, and then you can virtually lead him straight to the net and scoop him up. And finally, it's all worthwhile once you get a fish like that in the net. Makes it all worthwhile. All those fly changes, all the tippet changes, every little bit of thought that we've had to put into it makes it worthwhile when it finally works. And that's why you go fly fishing. Right up in the upper Hariri. And this was not even a big fish that we've seen. So some of these ones, we've just weighed this one, and he's 5 1/4. So some of these other fish that we've been seeing have got to be 7, 8. You know, I mean, this is still an amazing fish, don't get me wrong, but once you see some of the other ones that are bigger than this, you go, you gotta love New Zealand. Let's get him back in the water. Again, least time out of the water is very important, so get him back in the water, and he'll just take a little bit of time. He's got a little bit of power in him now. Just let him swim away of his own accord, and he'll be right here for when you come across to New Zealand and experience what this lovely place can offer. Now this is the fly we've gone to. It's a what they call a New Zealand blowfly, and as you can see, the underneath is like a fluorescent blue with a black top and some white there. But it may look something extraordinary that you wouldn't normally use, but believe me, once you see the bush blowflies, they're certainly that colour, and it obviously works here in the Ahariri.
Well, I use a lot of these small streams. I'll have a caddis, which is another floating fly, and also like a rubber-legged stimulator, and that's brilliant in all streams.
Small streams like this can be found throughout Victoria, and the enjoyment derived from discovering them is only increased by the trials experienced and effort dedicated to uncovering them.
Oh, he's a good solid rainbow. Oh dear. Here we go. That's yeah, when they go down downstream, you're in a bit of trouble, but yeah, there's a little bit of traffic down there too, so we'll try and keep him up, get him on the reel there, put a bit of pressure on him. And that's a rainbow. He's probably a pound, but fantastic. I just love that dry, that absolute ripper, But to come up and hit it, and try and get him in here. I need him a little bit shorter. Just if you keep his head out of the water, he can't swim off, and we get him in. Well, there he is. He's like a pound, but geez, they've got power straight off. And as soon as you hook up, you just feel it straight off and you know, oh, that's a nice fish. He's aggressive and he's got the power to do you if he knows. So you've got to keep the pressure on. It's all well and good having a soft little rod, but you need something to bit of go so you can direct him around a bit, particularly in tight little water like this. So that's a great fish in here. It's always good too with the net. You get them in the net early, they've still got plenty of life in them rather than tiring them out too much. So they're good to go again pretty quickly. As we unhook him. Just stunning fish. Not as red as what the other ones are, but they're in such good nick and just fit. For a nymph, I'd go with a pheasant tail beadhead in a tungsten, which is brilliant. And if I had to pick one fly to use on lakes, it'd be a green magoo. Catches fish everywhere in the world. So you'll always have your favourite flies. Stick to the main ones and you're going to be successful.
He's not bad. Had a good run in him.
And you could just see him, he was just cruising,
Yeah.
There's a bit of a weed bank out there.
Well, he's only about 6 or 7 metres off and just saw a little shadow. There wasn't much because of the ripples and the darkness. And next minute, bang! And he's off. He's done a good run. Real good run. Jeez, he's still fighting. This is good fish. Move on.
Yeah, I'll get the net. Beautiful, solid fish. It just, I mean, all trout are different, but that's just lovely colours. Good. It's good to go. Can we go?
Go home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of Series 2 of On the Fly. I hope you've really enjoyed watching it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Fly fishing's such a great sport that you've really got to get into it and have a go. So if you've got an inkling to try it, do one of the courses, get a professional to teach you, buy a DVD, read a book. There's a load of information out there that's going to put you on the right track. Now next season, we've got plenty of places we're going to take you, both overseas and local. So it's going to be a really great series that we're looking forward to bringing to you. So I look forward to catching you next season on The Fly.